Great, thank you very much. And thank you, Senator Veal, for hosting this roundtable. I'm going to speak on some of the research that we've done and some of the issues that are addressed that the bill, that SB 1362 would actually address some of the major fundamental flaws in our current system. So one of the problems with our current system of authorization and oversight of charter schools is that it is biased towards approval of charter schools and focused more on the charter industry growth goals than on developing an equitable education system overall for our state. Two fundamental problems that our research has documented is, number one, that our appeals process for authorization is dysfunctional and flawed, and second, that the strict limits on the reasons that authorizers have to reject charters creates this bias towards approval system and doesn't allow school districts to really maintain a comprehensive system that's geared towards educating all children. In our analysis of the State Board of Education's approval of or overturning of local decision making, titled "A Troubling Track Record," we demonstrate that in the process that currently exists, you have districts that will have both staff and their elected boards at the local level deny a charter, then at the county board, staff and elected boards will deny a charter, and then it'll go up to the state. And what's happening right now at the State Board of Education is that around 71% of charters that have been denied at the local and county level are being approved at the State Board of Education level. Of these that are being approved, more than a third of them are not actually functioning. They're either not even opening because the petition was not adequate to start a school. They may be failing, and in some cases the charters are being revoked by the State Board itself after having approved it. We recently heard from one of the members of the Advisory Commission on Charter Schools a sense that if you build it, they will come. That's a quote from one of those members. But that's actually not the case. Many schools are failing because they are not able to meet the enrollment goals that they set, which means they're not financially viable as a school. We have numerous examples of these problems and other problems with schools approved by the State Board of Education. Most recently, the Paramount Collegiate Academy in Sacramento, which was closed in the middle of February with a few hours notice to students who were left scrambling to find a new school to attend. One additional problem is that the pace of authorizations that are reaching the State Board of Education appears to be increasing. While between 2002 and 2017, the SBE had heard appeals of 65 charter petitions. Today and tomorrow alone, they will hear 6 petitions, and they heard 2 last month. That's 8 petitions. So that pace is increasing, and these problems will only become expanded for districts and for the State Board's authorization. So another set of research that we have done and that we're looking to expand upon in April is looking at the fiscal impact of charter schools on local districts. So we put together a one-page sheet that's almost like a teaser of some local research that we're going to be doing, where we look at 3 school districts, including Eastside High School, also San Diego Unified and Oakland Unified, and we look at the impact on the school district finances. These kinds of studies have been done in other places around the country, and what they are demonstrating, all the studies are finding that there is a serious cost to the local district that is impacting local neighborhood schools. The issue is not just enrollment. Oftentimes you'll hear people talk about, well, the money follows the child, and that is true, but not all of the costs follow the child to the charter school. Many of those costs remain with the district. Our upcoming study documents that, but it also looks at other things. So there's the fixed costs that stay with the district even when the student leaves, but there are other costs, special education costs, where it's been documented that many of the needs of the students in charter schools are not as severe as the needs of the students staying in the district, so those students have a higher cost associated with providing them with the adequate services that they need and deserve. There's also the issue of unfunded oversight and a massive loss of staff time. I have heard over and over in talking to local districts and county districts the amount of staff time that's dedicated to reviewing charter petitions, providing oversight, and not to mention the process when a charter needs to be revoked. These are staff that would otherwise be spending their time providing education to children in district. And then finally, in addition to the cost to the local districts, is the cost to the state, which we documented earlier in our spending blind report, where we looked specifically at facilities financing, where over $2.5 billion in direct state funding or taxpayer subsidized bond money was going to charter schools where there wasn't a need or where they may have been using illegal practices. So among the problems, in addition to these costs, is the districts really need the ability to manage their local education system. Right now, under the current system, they can't deny charters based on them not providing a new educational opportunity. They may not be better than what's already being provided by the district, and they may not be providing anything different. And so when that cost is being borne by the children in neighborhood schools, that's unacceptable.